Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Project Cars 2, tackling a very snowy Nurburgring once more. My vehicle of choice is the Bentley Speed 8, the LMP 900 car as they are categorised on this particular game. Thought about using the Audi. I've driven the Audi a lot. Not spent so much time driving the Bentley, however, so I thought I would give something different a shot. Now, this stands a good chance of going damn fast. Of course it does. It is a high-end race car. It is still rear-wheel drive, sure. However, it has got stacks of downforce, relatively modern technology, huge tyres. The power, around the 600 horsepower mark, a little bit more powerful than we had out of the GTE car, but it's not in the insane, uncontrollable levels of power. So this does stand a pretty good chance, kind of in some ways along the lines of the GT1 car, theoretically, this with more downforce though. It's all going to be about how the car handles. If we have too much oversteer, if we have a very, very lively back end, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be difficult, trying to extract performance out of the car. Things like the Formula A, for example, when you just even little movements trying to turn into a corner, the front end had loads of grip, the back end had none of it. And when you have one lap around the Nurburgring, just that one solitary lap, you want the car to be predictable as possible. I'm hoping we're going to have a good level of traction out of this car to get out of the corners along the lines of the McLaren that went not so long ago, and if we have those, it might just be able to beat the 844 that was laid down by that Ford. It is all getting quite close at the top of the table. 2 seconds separate the top three, and this is already feeling pretty good. So it's a good start for the Bentley. There's actually a lot of grip through these corners. That's what I like to see. Oh, okay, brakes are quite sensitive. Does not take much at all in terms of brake pedal movement to get that locked up, so I'm going to have to be a tad careful. Wow, there's a lot of grip in this car. That's what I like to see. There's a lot of grip, and it's a lot of nicely balanced grip as well. It's not it's not a lot of turning and nothing at the rear. It does seem to be pretty well balanced, and I can stamp on the loud pedal there with no problems whatsoever. We're not going to do 150 over there. Do not want to get airtime in the snow, but we can then get back on the gas through there pretty well. Jeez, that back end is behaving itself. that is stuck to the floor. We're up to 160. Okay, this is going fast. This is going to go very fast around here if I don't do something unbelievably stupid, which is possible. Let's face it, it is possible. It's in some ways more likely to be the slow corners that you do something stupid in with the downforce that this car is generating. That feels very, very planted. It feels very, very stable through a lot of these corners. Christ, the traction's amazing. Again, much like we saw with the McLaren, the traction in this car is ridiculous. I'm not having any problem getting to full throttle in this in like second gear. Now again, not going to do anything stupid at the top of this hill. It's not that corner that I'm worried about. It's slowing it down for this corner that's the concern. Because again, at the end of the day, probably of all the cars I've driven, this is one of the easiest ones to forget. You are actually still on the snow because of the level of grip this thing is generating through a lot of these corners. There we go. That's what's going to happen at low speed if you're a little bit foolish with the car. But yeah, the downforce is working wonders on this machine, but let's not get carried away too much. We've got to get around the lap cleanly. That's the important bit. It is likely to be good at this first section, where we've got the high-speed stuff, where we can get the downforce to really work in the car. This is where it is likely to be good. I don't want to lock the brake up and do a stupid going down this hill. It's so nice to have the back end of one of these very, very high downforce cars actually working. Well, I say working properly, but actually being stuck on the road. You saw all the fighting I had with the McLaren, especially with the Formula A, and to an extent the Formula X. I mean, technically speaking, the Formula X is going to be, faster than an LMP 900 car. These are not slow, don't get me wrong, but technically speaking, the Formula X should be faster. However, it's about that accessible power, and that's what you get in this so far. Now, I don't want to speak too soon, because, yeah, it's still going to snap on you if you're an idiot, like I was there. And we have a little bit of a lock-up, but thankfully we were early enough on the brakes that can get away with that one. What are you going to do over the crest here? Can I jump on the throttle coming up this area? I'm not going to know. I can't quite get to full throttle until, well, third gear really over there, just to be on the safe side of things. Again, when you got this one flying lap, safe side of things is where you've got to be. Overstepping the mark in the snow is easy to do. You can easily do it without realising you're as close to the mark as you think you are. So, yeah, being a little bit cautious is needed in places. However, we're only 4 minutes into the lap and already I'm feeling surprisingly comfortable driving this car. In these conditions, we are not quite flat through there because I don't want to get a wheel spin across a crest or clip a curve. Now we will go back to full throttle, up to 150 again. Don't know how fast this is going to go down that main straight. Not sure what we're going to have grip-wise through here. I actually more don't want to touch the curbs through that section and cause myself unnecessary grief. It is a little bit bumpy through all of that. That's probably one of the quicker I've taken that corner as well. Just got the confidence to do it in this car. It's got, yeah, it's just stuck to the road. Liking my Bentley, liking the Bentley a lot here in towards now. This is where we are less likely to like the Bentley. This is where things can go wrong if you're an idiot with the throttle. Now this is turbocharged. The boost pressure is at 100% from standard, but unlike the Group C cars, for example, this has got a sensible power band. It's not suddenly kicking in. I mean, if you're a real moron, of course you can spin the rear wheels. Of course you can spin the car. From first and second, you've got to be a tad careful. And if you're hitting bumps and crests and curbs, no doubt whatever gear you're in, you're going to be able to upset the car and spin those rear wheels. But if you aren't a moron, there is a lot of traction in this. There is a lot of traction indeed. Now we've got to be brave through these slower sections, and this is where you can make up time. This is also where you can lose time with with just about anything. Definitely though don't want to do a silly spin in a downhill braking zone. We spun the Sauber, the C9 went around not far away from here. It was kind of a very, very lazy spin. I don't think we're going to see similar things from the Bentley, but we don't have the same sort of turbo issues of the Group C cars, so we should be okay. I'm out on the AstroTurf. That's the sort of confidence I've got in the vehicle. Yeah, this is very, very good. This is very good indeed. If this doesn't beat the Ford, I would be amazed. I mean, it goes to show how incredibly accessible the performance is in that Ford. If this doesn't beat it, I would, the way that this is driving, surely it's got to be quicker than the GT. It's when I started this series, I thought these kind of cars were going to have huge issues. Sure, the all-wheel drive LMP cars probably have no massive problems around here, but these sort of LMP cars, I thought were still going to come unstuck. I didn't even have to brake through there. It's the first time I've ever had the belief that one of these cars is actually going to stick through there. Christ. Yeah, when I started the series, I didn't think that these sort of cars were going to be as drivable. To be fair, I did think that we would have more trouble with various vehicles. Some have been very fiddly, things like that Formula A car, for example. But grip that this thing is managing to find is far more than I ever expected. These race cars that, let's face it, if it snows at the Nurburgring, which it has done occasionally during races, was it last year's Le Mans 24 hours? Oh, there was hail that filled the track and they had to red flag the red because it just everything got stuck. Yeah, I didn't expect us to have that this sort of level of grip from anything, let alone from a couple of, I say, quite different vehicles. I mean, the GTE cars and GT1s, but yeah, I mean, this has been a hell of a car. Provided I don't stuff it up through these next corners. I mean, time-wise, I'm not quite as far ahead as I was sort of expecting myself to be. I know there are a couple of places where I was a little bit more cautious, perhaps. We are going to have to try and be very brave into these final corners with the Bentley. Really get it stopped now. Don't want to lock up. Don't spin. Don't have that back of the car moving around as much. Please, come on, Bentley. Find some grip. This I know the low-speed stuff you don't like. There's not much in terms of turning, not much in terms of grip. Bloody hell. When I said it wasn't quite where I thought it was in terms of time, I misread the time. Jeez. That thing is fast. That thing is unbelievably fast around here. An 814 makes it a 30-second jump forward from the Ford GT. That's ridiculously quick. I know, in better conditions, these things can run under, in the dry, the world record is something under the 6-minute mark. I have no doubt these cars are well capable of that. An 814 in the snow, though, is damn fast. That is incredible, the way that it drives around this circuit. It doesn't care that it's on snow at all. The brakes are perhaps the biggest giveaway that we've got issues. They're having to be very early on the brakes, having to be very careful in a number of places, just not to lock up. It doesn't, if we do lock up, it doesn't lock the rears, it doesn't risk spinning around. If we just do that, it does actually, you know, go straight forward. And that, if you have any sort of rear locking in the car, you're in so much trouble in the snow. And this does not have that whatsoever. I'm not sure, outside of a LMP1 car, anything can beat that. I don't even think the Group B rally cars or the rallycross cars can beat the Bentley. Outside of LMP cars now, I think that's probably going to be... that might be the victor. Of course, that makes for now a very interesting challenge. A very interesting challenge indeed. Is there going to be anything that can beat the LMP car? Also, just, you know, thinking back, the Audi, the little S1 hatchback, that ran a 922 around here to be the initial benchmark. That is a road-going hatchback. That's, okay, it's a minute and a bit down, but that's a minute and a bit down on a Le Mans winning prototype. I think that is, you know, it's good credit to the Audi for the speed that it could achieve around here. This is a hell of a car. This is one hell of a car, and that is a mighty benchmark for somebody, something, to try and beat. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.